Good morning, students. In today's session, I am going to discuss with a poem, Punishment in Kindergarten. This is the first poem in your Unit 2. Actually, in Unit 1, you have a grammar part. In Unit 1, there is a grammar part, but I am going to teach this grammar part. I am going to discuss this grammar part. Lastly, I am going to discuss. At a time, I am going to discuss grammar part. So, in today's class, this is a poem, Punishment in Kindergarten, written by Kamala Das. Actually, this Kamala Das was born in Kerala. Her Madhavi Kuti was her pen name. Actually, she was very much influenced by her mother as she was a writer, Malayalam writer. She died recently. She was a famous poet of present century, but she died recently. She had a good command over the English language. Punishment in Kindergarten is a poem that narrated by Kamala Das. Actually, this poem is based on her own experiences during picnic to Victoria Gardens in Calcutta. Victoria Gardens at Calcutta. This poem is based on her own experiences. So this is the introduction of the poet Kamala Das. Let me start with the poem. I am going to write down the stanzas. As situations are pandemic, you may not have your textbooks or any publications. So let me write it down. But don't write. You should not write. But I am going to write, but you should not write. Just you listen my discussion. Today the world is a little more my own. Today the world is a little more my own. No need to remember the pain. Now she's enough matured. Actually, it is her childhood experience. The poem is about her childhood experiences. So, at that time, she was studying her kindergarten. Now she was enough matured. No need to remember the pain. No need to remember that situation. Actually, today the world is a little more my own. It's her own life. No need to remember the pain. Let me write it down. A blue frocked woman caused throwing a blue frocked woman caused throwing words at me. She was saying her experiences. She was narrating her experiences in this poem. Words at me like pots and pans. to drain. That honey-colored day of peace. That honey-colored day of peace. Why don't you join the others? Why don't you join the others? What? A blue-frocked woman. Actually, she was her teacher. Blue-frocked woman caused throwing words at me. She was scolding this poet like pots and pans, like throwing of pots and pans on him to drain. She was saying to get out, to get lost. So her words are like, her scoldings are like throwing words at me like pots and pans. That honey-colored day of peace. Actually, it was a great day for her because it's a picnic day. Usually, kids they enjoy a lot during their picnic. That honey-colored day of peace. Why don't you join the others? What? Poets actually in this poet's teacher, blue-frocked woman, she was scolding her this poet Kamala Das, scolding like anything. She was saying her to join with her friends. Actually, the poet is very reserved character. So the teacher was scolding her to join with their friends. Don't sit alone. Go and join with your friends. She was scolding her like anything. Today, actually now she's enough matured. Poet Kamala Das was enough matured. When she was narrating this poem, she was enough matured. Actually, it is her experience. It's a bad experience of her bad experiences she was narrating over this poem. Today, the world is a little more my own. Yes, it's today. She's matured. So it's her own life. No need to remember that pain. Actually, no need to remember that bad experience in her life. A blue-frocked woman caused her teacher. Generally, teachers scold kids. It's a common. But that day she felt a lot. It pained her a lot. A blue-frocked woman caused throwing words at me like pots and pans to drain that honey-colored day of peace. Why don't you join the others? Teacher was saying, why are you sitting alone? Why are you? Come and join with your friends. She, she scolded that poet. A peculiar child you are. She was saying, you are very peculiar. Teacher was saying to Kamala Das, a peculiar child you are. Look at this one. Today the world is a little more my own. No need to remember the pain a blue-frocked woman caused, throwing the words at me like pots and pans to drain that honey-colored day of peace. Why don't you join the others? What a peculiar child you are. Through this poem, she was narrating her bad experience during her picnic at Victoria Gardens. Here, the honey-colored day, blue-frocked. She used compound words, blue-frocked woman, honey-colored day. Today the world is little more my own. Now she is enough matured. Blue-frocked, honey-colored. There are combination of two words. Now coming to next paragraph. On the lawn, it's a garden. In clusters, sat my schoolmates, sipping. They tuned, they turned, and laughed. Her friends laughed at her. When her teacher was scolding her, her friends laughed at her. Her friends were sipping sugarcane and turned and laughed at her. They are in group. In the garden, they are in the group. They sat in the garden. On the lawn, in clusters, sat my schoolmates sipping sugarcane. They are sipping sugarcane. They sat on the garden in a group. They turned and laughed. They turned and laughed at her. Actually, children are very funny. Children are funny things. They laugh. Children for funny things, they laugh. In mirth at others, what is meant by mirth? Expressing laugh. I buried. She got tears. On the lawn in clusters sat my schoolmates, sipping sugarcane. They turned and laughed. Children are very funny things. For funny things they laugh. In mirth at other tears I buried. By seeing their laughter, mirth, expression of laughter. I buried. She cried a lot. It pained her a lot. I buried. She was narrating, I buried. Next, let me write it down. My face in the sun-warmed hedge. And smelt the flowers and the pain. My face in the sun, warmed hedge. What's the meaning of hedge? A boundary formed by bushes. When I'm going to discuss about glossary, I'm going to give the meanings of these hard words. My face in the sun, warmed hedge, and smelled the flowers and the pain. Look at here. On the lawn in clusters sat my schoolmates, sipping sugar cane. They turned and laughed. Children are funny things. They laugh. In mirth at other tears, I buried my face in the sun-warmed hedge and smelt the flowers and the pain. Through this poem, she was narrating her bad experience during her picnic to Victoria Gardens at Calcutta. Actually, her teacher, a blue-frocked woman, scolded her like anything, and it pained her. Actually, she scolded to go and join with their friends. Don't sit alone. Go and join with others. She's, but at that time, at that moment, it's actually normally her teacher scolded her. Just it's a normal thing. It's as usual. Every teacher scold everyone. It's a common thing. But at that time she was in kindergarten, so she felt it. She took that scoldings into her heart. So it pained her a lot. Why don't you join the others? What a peculiar child you are. She's very peculiar. She was very reserved character. However, this poet was very reserved character. So, madam was scolding her. what a peculiar character you are. Go and join with your friends. Go and play with them. Don't sit alone. On the lawn. Actually, when her teacher was scolding her, their friends turned and laughed, and this made her a pained a lot. Children actually they are very funny kids. They laugh for each and everything. My face in the sun warmed hedge and smelt the flowers and the pain. It pained her a lot as her friends laughed at her. When Madam was scolding these Kamala Das, her friends who were sitting in the lawn and sipping sugarcane laughed at that moment. So it pained Kamala Das a lot. Coming to next paragraph. The words muffled now, the laughing. Only a blur. The ears have sped along, stopping briefly. It bellowed, Halson moving. It bellowed, Halson moving. Actually, what is muffled? What is the meaning of muffled? Difficult to hear. Difficult to hear. So the words are muffled now, the laughing faces. So when her madam teacher was scolding Kamala Das, it pained a lot, muffled, difficult to hear. Even her friends' laughing faces. The years have sped along, stopping briefly. As years passed, when she was narrating this poem, she was very enough matured. Years passed. Still, he remembered that pain. Sadly on. My mind has found an adult peace. No need to remember. Actually, now no need to remember because she was adult during that narration. This pain, it's a kindergarten story. No need to remember. No need to remember it. That picnic day. When I lay hidden by a hedge, by a hedge, by a hedge. Already I informed you the meaning of hedge. What is the meaning of hedge? Boundary formed by bushes. It's a garden, it's a picnic. So compulsory we are going to see such type of bushes. Yes, in the picnic you are going to see bushes. Watching the still white sun. Watching the still white sun. Standing lonely in the sky. In the sky. Look at over here. Standing lonely in the sky. As days passed, she remembered her picnic day, her kindergarten picnic day to Victoria Gardens at Calcutta. It beloved halls and moving sadly on, my mind has found an adult peace. Now she's very much an adult peace. She's matured now. An adult peace. Now she don't have any pain, even though she remembered that pain. No need to remember. She was saying, no need to remember that picnic day because it's a childhood incident. Even though she remembered that pain. Years passed when I lay hidden by a hedge. She was sitting back of that bushes and watching the still white sun. At that moment, she was watching the sun standing lonely in the sky. She was staring at the sky. She was sitting alone and 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 she was staring in the sky, sitting beside the bushes. As years passed, still she remembered her pain. So the poet Kamala Das narrated this poem, Punishment in Kindergarten. So at that time, she pained a lot. She felt it's a punishment, but now she was enough matured. No need to remember that. Actually, not that much. It's not a punishment, but at that age, she felt it's a punishment. Punishment in kindergarten. Normally, casually, Teachers scold every child. It's a common thing. But at the time, even their friends laughed on her at that moment. It pained her a lot. So, through this poem, she expressed her tears during her picnic day. Tomorrow, I'm going to give glossary of this poem. Thanking you.